Christoph Michelin on. We're on the last lap here. He's not close enough to do it into the closing speed of the Suzuki.
The corner speed, isn't the braking stability and the corner speed of the Suzuki. Dovizioso is going to be back on the top step of the podium here in Austria. He's checking away. No, again, Jack Miller runs that tight defensive line. There's just nothing that Mir can do.
He's won! He's won! Here comes he. You like me now? He wins here in Austria. And Mir, brilliant, pinches second place off Miller on the last lap.
Simak channel ini terus biar bisa tahu perkembangan dari Suzuki. Jangan lupa tekan subscribe-nya biar bisa berkembang channel ini untuk Suzuki-nya selalu. Oke.
A race that was stopped because we were getting the remnants, the back end of Hurricane Naik. There's a storm brewing now for Rossi, and it's coming in the shape of a Suzuki.
He won in Moto3 here, he won in Moto2 here. He loves Austin, does Alex Rins. His first ever podium in Grand Prix racing was the same day Marc Marquez opened his account in Motogp. Is he about to win in Motogp as well? One home for the old dogs. Oh, here comes Rins, just on cue. Rins has found a gap. The door was open. That was silky smooth from Alex Rins, and now he leads. Now, can he break away from Valentino Rossi? Has Rossi got anything left in those tyres? Rossi's going to have a look here. It's a bit last-minute stuff. He can't get it stopped. Rins goes through, and that could be costly for Valentino Rossi.
That smacked of desperation already from Valentino Rossi. Rossi knows that Rins has got the better rear grip here. Rossi knows that Rins can break away. That was just Rossi trying the block pass, trying to disrupt Rins' rhythm. Already it did smack him a bit of desperation, that one from Rossi.
The checkered flag is out here in Austin. Rins exits perfectly and he wins his first ever MotoGP race. The factory Suzuki rider has done it. Alex Rins just behind Marc Marquez. Has he been biding his time, or is he just doing everything to stay with the world champion? Has this been a tactic all along to make sure it's just between those two?
Surely Alex Rins has just got to go for this. You can't just go, okay, yeah, it's a second place.
Oh, and he's almost
me.
thrown it down the road. Was his concentration taken away a bit by looking over the shoulder? Rins is up close behind Marquez, who has a bit of a wobble on the exit. Can Rins do anything about this down into turn 7? He takes the inside line. He's going to be all right mid-corner. Will he have a look now into Vale? Look how much he closes in.
It's ridiculous, the edge grip that Suzuki's got. He's trying to fight their way through up into Vale. Marquez is having none of it. You can see his rear tyre hopping and skipping. He's sat behind him for pretty much the whole of this British Grand Prix so far.
Around the loop we go. This is where Rins loses so much time on the power.
Twitch there again.
He's going
brilliant! What a move! What a move!
Fantastic stuff, and Marquez really struggled to get that Honda fired up there. They're side by side again though. Marquez goes through, he takes the inside line. Can he get the Honda stop though?
Marquez having none of it. Look at the edge grip that Rins had coming through the loop in Aintree. He really did pick the pocket of Marc Marquez there. Marquez has a twitch on the front end coming through Luffield. 1 lap to go here. The British fans are on their feet. It's Marquez versus Rins around the outside of Woodcote. You can't do that.
No, they're side by side. Unbelievable. Rins is off the circuit almost.
And look at Vinales. Vinales coming right back into contention. Through Stowe for the final time. Up towards Magnus and Beckett. It's Marquez from Rins. How on earth did Rins have the bravery and the courage to ride around the outside of Marquez through Woodcote? I've never seen that happen before. Surely Rins is not going to try and ride around the outside of Marquez again into Woodcote. 1 corner to go, Marquez versus Rins.
Here we go then, around the final corner. Rins is going to have another look. Surely not around the
He's got the job.
He's got the
He's done it.
He's going to do it. He's done it. Rins has poached it on the line.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight.
Big jump there from the middle of the grid. That is a great start from the Ducati. That launch control worked for him, didn't it, Jack?
Dovizioso from that second row.
Disaster for some riders at that point. I think Quartararo being one of them. Let's wait and see as we get down the end of this front straight. That is brave, straight away on it at turn 3. And he got it stopped as well. Dovizioso, that was a neater move than it looked as if it was turning out to be. Through comes the KTM, Pol Espargaro. He was absolutely, he's still revving up.
Everything we've seen from pole position has been duffed up on 3 occasions so far on this 1 lap.
Through has come Joan. Tino Rossi up behind them as well. Quattro Rossi coming up through Q1. But the 44 is the man to watch at the moment. Pol Espargaro.
Here comes Rins.
Yeah, fight left him at the moment. Maybe that's the old Yamaha with a bit of weight on the front was not great when it had a fuel tank full of fuel. Over the line then, Jack Miller working it out. 28 laps, as I say, it's a long old race. 75 miles around here. Track temperature is good. Turn 2 through the kink now.
Watched him do that through practice. He downshifts with a little bit of lean angle. Oh, Rins has got that completely wrong.
Back on the gas as soon as he could do, though.
Really good at straight line braking. And then you've got Miller, the dirt tracker, really. Comes in fully sideways.
But Dobby's tyres are taking less stick.
They deal with that grip. It just, if you wear that rear tyre, it won't allow the bike to turn. It's surprising how critical it is, the rear.
Outdone by his teammate Brad Binder last time out in Brno. Binder is down in 15th place. The last point scoring place. Here comes Pol Espargaro.
There's one thing we've learnt about this track and Andrea Dovizioso. If you pass him on the brakes into a corner, you will not make the apex. Ask Marc Marquez. He's tried about 20.
In my mind about that, and he will want to be able to put a block pass on Andrea Dovizioso. Dovizioso now lining himself up with Jack Miller around here as he's got more and more used to this Motogp bike. Out of turn 3, up the hill now. Look at Dobby. Dobby's lining himself up. Race, but look at Dovizioso. Looking at the inside of Miller, not this time around.
The good news, Keith, is there are no jump starts, so it must have just...
Maverick Vinales is not out of this, you know. Maverick Vinales is looking like he's got used to that first couple of laps of a fuel tank. We talked about it, 5 motorbikes disturbing the air all around you. That adds an extra dimension to destabilising your lap on the early stages of a race.
The backer shot, that's Binder now. He's on his own. He's got some clear track.
That would be out of this world. KTM,
There he is.
It's their home track.
Old school racer, isn't
Never gives up.
Never gives up.
But tidy with it and intelligent as well, the way he goes about it. He doesn't get scruffy. 24.8. Let's have a quick look and see what the lap record is here at the moment. Andrea Dovizioso.
Oh, sorry, that was close there with Maverick.
Where we're at the moment.
Yeah, it's been a weird weekend, not a lot of rubber down, we've had mixed weather, and that's why Brad Binder, obviously a rookie, first time on this track.
Yeah, every lap counts, and that's the problem. There's less corners around here. You always think it's a little simpler when there's less corners or less to do, or when you've not got that much to play with out on the lap.
No, well, Binder's been about 0.7 off.
Hang on, Dobby there with a big shake. So Dobby then got it spun up a little bit, and that's allowed Pol through. Pol Espargaro goes second on the KTM. Dobby's lining himself up for a pass. That wasn't to be expected there.
No, that KTM, though, got a front in. Oh, I can't see.
He has,
yeah, he has.
Yeah,
So maybe at this point it's just not working, but
Quite.
there's 24 laps.
Miller lines himself up. Here comes a guy. He looks so neat, so incredibly neat. He doesn't look like he's out. Menacingly is Joan Mir, learning from the mistakes of the two in front. Homing in then is Fabio Quartararo. Here we go, Mir up the inside. Oh, Dobby's getting it now.
Great shot.
Back to fourth.
And that's the difference of this track. If you see the difference there, easily pulled it inside Andrea Dovizioso on the Ducati. That obviously through that section finds it a bit difficult.
Well, if you'd started your year with a few bets on the KTM, that's the Tech 3 version. Brad Binder, they'd already got some new bits in the pipeline. We don't really know what they were. Nobody's been shouting about them, that's for sure.
And the Binder watch is now, and he's catching the whole group.
Jack Miller's setting good pace up front, but he's being caught by Pol Espargaro. Pol Espargaro's dragging the Morbidelli that was getting right edged out there. The 21 of Morbidelli, because it's Maverick Vinales and Quartararo that are sidebar. Went straight underneath him, and then he just edged him out. There's a little bit of wheel being shown there, and a little bit of elbow followed it. Neatly, it's a big disaster. Well, they say they've sorted out their technical problems, whatever they were.
Did he go on at turn 4, or has he been... What a year this is turning out to be, Keith.
Pol Espargaro leads on the KTM. KTM empty terraces, while KTM leads. Oh, here comes Rossi now on his teammate, and he lost that at the front. Rossi.
Yeah, it's going to be down into turn 4.
So, tricky corner.
So it's behind Miguel Oliveira on the brakes.
Massive. He'll find a little strip of tarmac around the outside there to get back on track, but that's cost Quartararo massively. He's 22nd and stone last.
Wow. You don't see Quartararo make them mistakes, do you, at all?
This track just hasn't looked as comfortable around here. KTM's working all the way around. It's Miguel Oliveira on the 88 machine, the Tech 3 KTM, but out front, Pol Espargaro looking to here at the Red Bull Ring. It's Espargaro out front as we come to the end of the lap.
Yeah, and you mentioned Miguel Oliveira just set the fastest lap of the race, as you saw. But what he is a methodical racer. In his second year now on that KTM, and he's working out that puzzle. Yeah,
pretty impressive.
Where are the Hondas?
Yeah.
Where are the Yamahas? I mean, think of the years we've watched this sport, and it's been dominated by the two main manufacturers.
You get great drive initially. So the fourth place man is now Joan Mir, gone back on the 36 bike back to fourth.
You feel like at this point in the race, Dovizioso's heart rate will be at about 100. It's like he's not really shown anything just yet. Do you know what I mean, though? Dovi's been in the battle for the win.
It's true. Dovi's been there or thereabouts. Second in 2016 and 2018. So Dovizioso goes up into second place now and sets about. Pol Espargaro out for that information on the board. I don't know whether I could take it all in. Dovi then will be trying to ease up the gap now. Is it? Yes, it is. Alex
It's the
Marquez.
Honda battle here. These are your leading Hondas: Taka Nakagami, Alex Marquez, and Cal Crutchlow. They've crashed at the flat-out King. They'll have crashed at turn 2, I'm guessing. There's been a collision
they were
there.
coming in there. That's Morbidelli.
Morbidelli.
I wonder what happened there. Morbidelli. That's well, certainly that machinery isn't going to be taken back in anything other than a sack.
It's one of the fears.
Braking area. Oh dear me.
Zarco's gone up the
This
inside.
bike is the worry.
That is... Oh, I cannot believe that. Yes. This is... Just watch Valentino Rossi tipping into the corner. Now... Oh, and that bike misses him by...
Yeah. Big destruction there, and that's bad news for Morbidelli. Such a shame. Morbidelli's just coming good as well. That's a great start from Pol Espargaro. Look at the Suzuki. That thing picks up so quick off the bottom, doesn't it? That Suzuki's brilliant. Here comes Jack. Got the thing hooked up in line, fired the Ducati down the straight. He wasn't going to be thwarted.
It's a bit of a grey area, that.
Yeah, a bit of one.
They're not picking
up Pol Espargaro if he's not careful. This is like a Moto3 race at these hairpins, isn't it? So Pol Espargaro leads off again, manages to get out front. That is it going to be better later on in this race? Espargaro, Miller, Dovizioso, Rins, Mir is still there. So Rins has done a great riding with that shoulder injury that we can hardly believe he had that shoulder injury, considering how quick he's recovered from it. You know what? I always remember him at Texas, round the outside.
Yeah.
Everyone was dawdling up the inside, and Bradley had thought it through. He's a clever rider. Lacia Espargaro, his teammate. Here we go then, end of lap 1. 19 laps to go, 2.6 miles a lap. Leading, Jack Miller. Look where Brad Binder is. Watch out, Binder alert. Brad Binder is on the back of this bunch. Brad Binder is in 8th place.
Keith, we've got the championship leader in 16th, and the guy in second, Maverick Vinales, he's in 20th.
Unreal.
I've no idea what happened on
This kind of fight, he isn't really going to recover substantially from that.
I bet Binder can't believe his luck with this restart. He's on the back of this group.
Up the inside of Miguel Oliveira.
Yeah, that nimble Suzuki.
Yeah, that is nimble on the way into a corner and on the way out of a corner. Now then, can Jack Miller learn from that
Binder on Rossi.
early race? Binder's going to get him. And oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Hello, Brad. Yep, that pits and the like, don't we? At Assen, for instance, Valentino knows how to take advantage. Taka Nakagami comes alongside as well on the Honda. So I doubt he'll be too worried about it, but he's well on his way now. He just needed to get forwards, didn't he? So Quattararo, yeah, that's not a bad. He's just gone past Alex Marquez. There's Maverick Vinales, second from last. Suzuki's looking good in third, in fourth and fifth places
Miller
at the moment.
out?
Yeah, just taken 8 laps off of this race. If he had any worries about whether it was going to be with him towards the end of the race, perhaps he hasn't now. Look at that KTM pick up there. It's going to go past Dovi. Not quite, but it looked like over the hill there. He got the horsepower to make it alongside.
He had half a look of outbraking him, and he didn't make the apex. That's you know, like Dovi, you can't outbrake him on this track.
Yeah, he is hard to get. And Rins, Oliveira's next up, and then you've got to look back to Binder, who's closing them down on the other KTM. Jack Miller on the 43 in it's his 88th Grand Prix. Can you believe that? 2016.
Wow. He's due one.
He is due one.
Here we go. This is what happened on the first lap then.
Oh, it's going to be a straight on job. Everybody just rode past him on the brakes.
What?
Where the bikes should...
See that again, that was bizarre.
Yeah, we need to see it from overhead. Jack Miller easing away from Andrea Dovizioso from Pol Espargaro. The two Suzuki spot in a second, as Jack Miller will cross the line. these two Suzukis are looking proper lap by lap.
Yeah, I think Vignales, it was his clutch slip, and Alex Lowe's, who's obviously watching at home, texts me saying,
well, 2 starts in quick succession.
Yeah.
Something else that the motorbikes aren't built for.
Can happen.
Basically. Can lead at the line. Sorry, mate.
Sorry, yeah, Vignales is doing 27s.
No, that's
his race is going to be over.
Yeah,
so the man who's
done.
second in the championship is going to score no points. Because he's thinking, watching this.
Well, hang on a minute. Morbidelli's out of the race completely. Andrea Dovizioso could be leading the championship by the end of this if he works hard.
Yeah, Ducati will be pleased.
That's done and dusted. If you haven't seen it, hopefully you will have recorded it. But Battistella, will he be able to hold on to it? It's Rins that's moved up. He's been remarkable, Rins. His recovery from that shoulder injury. The Suzuki's still not the sharpest thing in the straight line.
He didn't have to outbrake him. He'd passed him in a straight line.
But you know Rins is going to be coming back. Those two Suzukis look very, very strong. Moving uphill now. Suzuki, that first tap of the throttle looks really... Dovizioso, 25 points for a win, 20 for second, 16 for third, 13 for fourth.
Just looks like that KTM
can't quite get it in there, whereas the Suzuki, neat and tidy. Pol Espargaro being asked out of the way for the second week running.
I was just thinking that. I'm falling out with somebody else.
God, he's proper fell out with Zarco.
He wouldn't accept his apology,
no.
even 5 days afterwards, when Zarco went round to shit.
Those two have proper fell out. Have you seen the Twitter spat? Yeah, that's moved Pol out the way. Miller over the line. So, Pol Espargaro's getting a bit raggedy now. He's got another Suzuki alongside him. So Pol Espargaro at turn 1 in a bit of difficulty. They're going straight under Joan Mir. Joan Mir, though, on that Suzuki will pick up the throttle and look for the cutback. I don't think it's the fastest thing, but he's going to be a long son. Miller just being closed down a little, I think, by Dovi here, and that's so typically Dovi, isn't it? 0.9 it is now. It's 0.1.
No effect. That last sector, Dovi's just so strong.
And it's so Dovi not to be too excitable, not to be over the top. To use that, I mean minimum wear on tyres, maximum performance from the overall package over the length of the race. He's right on the case of Dovizioso, whereas Pol Espargaro is scrapping away now for 4th place.
Wow, faster slapper than the leader.
Yeah, he's kind of, you can see it visually, can't you? The Suzuki might not quite be the fastest motorbike in the straight line. There ain't much in it.
Sounds so
sweet.
But
yeah.
look, watch the bikes pull away from him, though. That's the...
Well, I think that's the camera angle more than anything. I mean, that by a margin. In fact, you can look at the top speed sheets and see that. It's fairly easy. There'll be not that... Got 6 or 7 mile an hour, and you can squeeze up the inside of the main man. God, from the second row of the grid, that was a perfect start for the Suzuki, really was. Yeah,
a little bit wide there, but like,
look at the Suzuki, absolutely brilliant off the second row. He was straight. As soon as he got
wide,
as soon as he got over the lumpy bit, he was straight on the throttle, wasn't he? Using the grip of the paint. You can't there with the. Oh, that was tight, wasn't it? I remember that. That was so tight. Rins looking at Dovizioso again. The Suzuki looks good though when it gets into it turns in really well.
It's just at this point as they go through the gears, you can just see.
And the full works factory Ducati.
No, they're both on the 2020 spec factory Ducati.
It went for a vacation here in Austria. The front of the Suzuki down on the knee of Rins. Crashed out. So KTM's great hope for this weekend, their home Grand Prix.
And Miguel Oliveira, not happy.
So that's 2. Well, the fairy tale has ended here at the home track for KTM in Austria. Here comes Dovizioso, factory big red. Moment off in 3rd place. Bearing in mind that things went a little squirrely earlier. Wow, that was a half a lap and a half, breaking it by about 20 yards then, wasn't he, into there. As Rins closes in, Mir closes in. That's your top 4. 2 Suzukis chasing 2 Ducatis. But now it's a Ducati and Suzuki route. No one else is in the shout. Brad Binder on the other KTM. So Miguel Oliveira was going for the full-on. That's another one where Pol was out wide. Someone was on the racing line. Pol came, lost it by the time we got to it. I don't know whether the front was pushing under him. It looked a bit that way from the onboard. Here we go. Rins underneath Jack Miller now. Rins is at the Ducati. Is A faster. B, it's got Dovi on it, and he knows how to win around this place. But look at the Suzuki.
Yeah, 4th place. We've been talking about Mir a lot of expectation this season from him. Yet to see him sort of convert it into a decent result.
No, Dovi leads, but it's Alex Rins on the move. I still can't get over his mobility being as good as it is through that shoulder.
You don't want.
You really don't.
It's a 3-month injury, basically. Normally, that's what we see.
So there goes Paul Espargaro to bang his head on the KTM. Hit by not a happy day as it turns out. Rins has gone down. Rins is in the dirt. Okay, Davide Brivio. It was a great effort from Rins. Now it's down to Mir. What can he do on the 36 bike? Well, he lost the front end for a week last time. Now this time it was unrecoverable. So Rins has gone.
At least he's okay.
Yeah.
Been here, done it, and got the t-shirt, so he knows what it takes to be in this position under immense pressure from the best in the exciting moment for poor Alex Rins. He'd ridden an absolutely sensational race up to that point. Steve did say though he had a warning on the previous lap. That turn for Davide Brivio as Mir, has he got the drive coming out of turn 10? No, not quite close enough now. Dovizioso is just up.
Miller. This would be a selfish job from Fabio Quartararo. 8th place at the moment. He would hold on to his championship lead, but crucially Dovi
is not finishing the top 6, and he's still going to be clinging on to his world championship lead.
There's Ika Lecuona doing a great job.
Awesome, really good. Seen the checkered flag in Motogp, 4 races, 4 crashes, but at the moment on course 4, an outstanding 9th place.
Joan Mir's going to have a look. Mir will have seen his teammate go down there. Fancy second place does Joan Mir. It would be his maiden podium in MotoGP with the pace, and I think Mir can see that Dovi's checking out. Jack Miller then, is he starting to now?
There was on those soft tyres for Miller. The problem is that Joan Mir just cannot get by the Ducati on the straights. It's mission impossible.
You can see that Mir just trying to defend for 4 laps. Here's Valentino Rossi, the trusty doctor, despite having it's one of the most scary moments of his life.
To say the doctor dodged the bullet earlier on today. Such a horrendous looking incident involving Zarkum. Top 6 for the Honda man.
We get closer to the end of this MotoGP race. Dovi's will need to dispose of Miller soon, but it is far easier said than done. And also, Mir's got to remember that this is the podium number
when you're on course for your first podium, because at the moment Brad Binder is way behind. They don't have to worry about Binder, these two, unless they're trying to keep Mir at bay.
3 laps remain, and Dovi's a second clear now.
Dovizioso's got Ducati's 5th successive victory. It looks like it's going to be Ducati's landmark 50th victory in the World Championship.
And where he announced that he will be departing Ducati.
Yeah, Paolo Ciabatti and Gigi Dall'Igna just approaching Simone Binder
at this moment in time.
Looks like Valentino catching Binder there, guys, eh?
Yeah, Valentino has been on the last couple of laps quicker than Brad.
Off his lines, doesn't he? Andrea Dovizioso. Still just about a second.
Retribution story, because Dovi's the man that's decided to leave. His manager Simone Battistella has said that it's nothing to do with money. A very strange victory indeed. Now who's going to be second? 2 laps to go. Mir trying to find a way through, but again he's 9/10 down on Binder. He took another 2/10 out of him on that last lap.
Yeah, Dovizioso's dropped back into the 125, nothing to give him to. I think he knows if the Suzuki man gets past him, then he's going to be over for second place. He's just trying to run tight, defensive in the braking zone, and then use the horse riding. He's boxing clever here, Miller.
Just a lap and a half to go around this Spielberg circuit. Dovi won in 20. Ducati undefeated in Austria. Set to stay that way.
And he'll be enjoying this one because his previous victories, they've been absolute nails.
Season taking another couple of tenths out of Binder. That one's onto the line, I suspect.
How much is Mir going to risk, Steve?
I don't think he'll be able to help himself.
No, it's a rider mentality, isn't it? He just cannot get close enough, even close enough to show Miller his front wheel. And look again, Miller just those few extra ponies in that GP20 to make sure that Mir just cannot get close enough. If he's going to make a move, it's going to be seriously risky.
He's going to try and have a look into turn 6. That's what I think that's one of his best chances.
But even there, Steve, you can see with Miller, his rear tyre was swimming around.
This has been a brilliant defensive performance from Miller, considering he's got a soft front Michelin on. We're on the last lap here. He's not close enough to do it into the closing speed of the Suzuki.
The corner speed, isn't the braking stability and the corner speed of the Suzuki. Dovizioso is going to be back on the top step of the podium here in Austria. He's checking away. No, again, Jack Miller runs that tight defensive line. There's just nothing that Mir can do.
He's won! He's won! Here comes he, you like me now. He wins here in Austria, and Mir, brilliant, pinching second place off Miller on the last lap. His